Today we'll be taking a look at one big name from the women's division that's gone for a while, updates on several things on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns related, and much more. Let's start things off with this quietly missing star from the women's division. This big star in question is Eva Marie, so let's just briefly rewind here. Eva Marie had originally signed back with WWE in 2020, and was sitting in the internal roster for a long time. Eva didn't return right away because they just didn't have anything planned for her right away. But in summer of 2021, that's when we started to see short teasers and promos about Eva Marie's return. Her teasers weren't really wrestling focused, it was more focused on how she's a big star now with movies and photo shoots, and how she's returning to help others and try to elevate them to her level. So knowing all that, everyone expected for Eva Marie maybe not to make a full return to the ring, but start to make a name for herself in the managing scene and elevate some new talent in the process as well. Eva Marie is one of those superstars who fans react well to, whether it's booing or cheering her. Eva Marie sparks a strong response reaction from the live fans, so pairing someone up with her wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Eventually, Eva Marie made her return to Raw with Doudrop by her side. Doudrop was Eva Marie's enforcer there for a handful of weeks, doing all the heavy lifting for Eva Marie, while Eva took credit for all the work. The relationship didn't last long. Doudrop quickly started to realize that she was just being used by Eva Marie. Turns out Eva didn't really care about elevating someone else, she was just using them for her own good. Doudrop caught on to that, which led to their breakup. They had a few matches on Raw against each other, but they were mostly short and ended in weird ways, so the breakup story didn't really progress well from those matches. Eva Marie eventually faced Shayna Baszler, and Shayna did her signature elbow stomp on the steel stairs to Eva, and she hasn't been seen since. Not only has she been missing, Eva Marie went undrafted as well in the WWE draft. It seems like there's some explanation for this. Reports now claim that Eva Marie has gone to film a new movie. The big Shayna Baszler moment was meant to write Eva Marie off for a while. So with this short return run coming to an end for Eva Marie, what did it accomplish? Well, one of the biggest positives to come from Eva Marie's return was the main roster call-up of Doudrop. She's been a great addition to the women's roster, and that technically never would have happened without Eva, so you do have to credit Eva Marie for the debut of Doudrop. But for Eva Marie herself, the summer run was a bit underwhelming. It was just a story with Alexa, the brief breakup story with Doudrop, and that was it. So we'll have to see if Eva Marie will return again to WWE after filming this movie, and how that return will look like. Does she come back on her own, or does she find someone else to bring along once again? We'll have to see what the future holds for Eva Marie. Let's get back into everything Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns related. We briefly touched on the crown jewel finish and how that finish was meant to extend their story, rather than end it, and according to the latest reports, that seems to be the plan. The Brock Lesnar story isn't a one-off match for Roman, like the way Finn Balor and John Cena was. The Brock Lesnar story will be extended and will lead to potentially 2 or even more meetings between Roman and Brock. And that's what Crown Jewel was meant to show. Brock Lesnar had Roman beat fair and square. He technically won that match. But due to Paul Heyman's drama and Roman's cheating ways, Roman was able to survive. Roman didn't really win the match at all, he just managed to escape it. Brock Lesnar is not a full-time superstar, so it's not like he's gonna stick around week in and week out. Eventually, Brock has to go away for his usual break. So how does this happen this time around with such an intense story going on? Does Brock Lesnar do something crazy on Smackdown and gets himself suspended from WWE storyline-wise? WWE did do something similar to write Brock Lesnar off of television in 2015 after Wrestlemania. He went wild, attacked the commentary team, and was suspended for several months. So maybe something like that would be an option to write Brock off until his next major appearance, especially with what the reports are claiming. It doesn't seem like this storyline will be resolved anytime soon. With no real huge opponent in the immediate horizon for Roman Reigns, reports are claiming that Brock Lesnar could very well end up being Roman's WrestleMania 38 opponent as well. So if that's true, you're talking about another 6 months until that huge meeting at WrestleMania. That's a lot of time to fill. There's definitely a lot of directions they can go in if Brock is going to go away for a while. Obviously, everything Paul Heyman related is still very much alive. Paul Heyman still can't be trusted for sure, especially after Crown Jewel. What was that about? Roman did look at Heyman weirdly while they were on the ramp at Crown Jewel, so he definitely noticed that and caught on. So surely, Roman has to seriously question Paul Heyman for throwing that title right in the middle of the ring when he should have given it directly to Roman if he was really on Roman's side. So you have a lot of tension and story there between Roman and Heyman alone. And until Brock is ready for his next appearance, Roman does have a brand new Smackdown roster to work with. Drew McIntyre easily being one of the new top Smackdown superstars that could have a great feud with Roman. Drew is coming off a WWE title match loss and has been in the world title picture for the better part of the entire year. So some fans do think it's pretty strange for someone to get infinite title matches despite all those title match losses. But either way, a Roman and Drew story would probably be the best option to fill in some time between now and WrestleMania. Another issue is the numbers advantage. With Heyman sort of being on both sides and Roman having the support of his cousins, Brock is immensely outnumbered. That's when the support of former Retribution members could come into play. Strangely enough, former Retribution member Shane Thorne, who portrayed Slapjack, reached out to Brock Lesnar after Crown Jewel and tweeted out a message that said, quote, "Don't worry, Brock Lesnar, mate. Next time, I got your back. Hashtag free agents." End quote. Shane was alluding to the fact that him and Brock are both free agents, so they could stick together and help each other out. Even though Shane was joking around, the idea of Brock Lesnar getting some reinforcements actually isn't a bad idea. Of course, Brock Lesnar doesn't need any help, and he's a beast by himself. But maybe, to even out the numbers a bit, we could see him bring in someone else to help him out. A talent, or even a new manager. Just someone to balance this numbers advantage out a bit. However, the problem with that idea is that Brock Lesnar's character is known for being a lone wolf. He doesn't really have much of any on-screen friends at all. So pairing him up with someone would be pretty difficult. But like we've learned, Roman can make anything work in his storyline, and it's always gold. So it'll be interesting to see how this story continues to unfold, and if WrestleMania would be the real ending to this story. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.